And we got to start off with some breaking news out of the NBA.
Uh-oh.
I'm going to take this one solo,
Do your
fellas,
thing.
as of right now. The Dallas Mavericks finally let go of Nico Harrison. This was long overdue. He was fired after a 3-8 start for the Mavericks. The Mavericks went from 2 years ago being in the NBA Finals to now having one of the worst records in the entire NBA. And Nico Harrison was the sole proprietor, the sole reason why we were in this situation. Fellas, I cannot agree with the decision more. As a matter of fact, it should have happened on February 2nd last year after he decided to trade away a generational talent for the Dallas Mavericks. There's one thing you don't do when you're a Dallas Maverick, a front office member. You don't trade away the generational white boys. You don't. You just don't, man. We get them every single time. Thank God we got another one in Cooper Flag, and now we have to build around his 18-year-old cold self. Fellas, this move made perfect sense to me. I think Nico Harrison is now responsible. We will look back in history and say this GM was responsible for one of the worst trades in sports history. Trading away a top 5 player who had 5 first-team All-Pros in his first 6 seasons for Anthony Davis. I don't care how good Anthony Davis is. I don't care that he's one of the best prospects that we've seen, one of the greatest defensive prospects ever, maybe one of the best defensive players of this entire era. I don't care. Trading away Luka Doncic was one of the worst mistakes ever, and you did so not only for just Anthony Davis, Max Christie, and a 2029 first-round pick. You could have gotten so much more if you were to move on from Luka. He is responsible for tanking my entire franchise. I hope he doesn't get any sleep tonight. I hope he immediately sells his home and it's somehow gifted to someone that's much needed and deserving of a home in Dallas, Texas, because I never want to see him step foot in the Metroplex again. Nico Harrison, for lack of a better term, fuck you!
Ooh, damn! I got some important information for y'all. There's no better place to win cash while watching sports than PrizePicks. Football season is here, and basketball season is here, so there's absolutely no better time to join. It's super easy to use. To create a lineup, all you got to do, select a few player stats, pick more or less. That's literally it. PrizePicks is available in more than 40 states, including California, Texas, my home state, and Georgia. But my favorite thing, PrizePicks is going to give you $50 in lineups when you make your first $5 lineup. What's that mean? Win or lose, you get $50 in lineups for free. Just download the app and use promo code Speakeasy today. $5 gets you $50 in lineups. PrizePicks. It's good to be right.
Woo! Fellas.
Sheesh. Oh, my God.
Sorry, I had to go there, man. It feels great. It feels great. The weight is off the shoulders. As a Mavericks fan, that is how he made me feel.
That was a
Fellas.
Wow.
Do you believe that this firing was just? And if you don't, why are you wrong?
Acho. God. Should we woosah before we get here? Should we woosah before we get kicked off right here?
I'm sorry.
My
goodness. I had to let that one out.
God,
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I had to.
What a way to kick off the Speakeasy, baby.
Welcome to the show.
How many Luka jerseys you got?
A lot.
Let me say this, though, bro.
Whew. I can't disagree with Care Bear more on the firing of Nico Harrison. Nico Harrison's idiotic for making the decision, but who's more idiotic is the Dumont family and the Mavericks ownership group. Because how can you allow a general manager to make a decision that you're willing to fire him less than 365 days later for? That's what's actually idiotic. Everybody blaming Nico Harrison, but Harrison is here today, gone tomorrow. The owners of the Mavericks are going to be there for the next decade, 2 decades, 3 decades plus. So to me, this was an ownership blunder. This was an ownership error. You cannot allow a general manager who you can dispose of so easily to discard the face of the franchise. The Mavericks are Luka Doncic's team. They were, not Nico Harrison's team. So to me, this has much more to do with the ownership of the Dallas Mavericks than it ever had to do with Nico Harrison, because if Nico Harrison was that disposable, then how can he simultaneously have that much authority as to get rid of Luka Doncic? Let that sink in. Someone who's as disposable as Nico Harrison can't simultaneously carry enough decision-making power as getting rid of Luka Doncic, who is maybe one of the most talented Dallas Mavericks, maybe the most talented Maverick ever. Dirk Nowitzki is the greatest Maverick ever, but Luka Doncic is the most talented Maverick ever. If Nico has that kind of power, he can't be that disposable. Shame on Mavericks ownership.
Wow. Now, that's well said, because I agree with that, because
Nico had to talk to some people before he just said, Luka, you got to go, right? You got to talk to somebody in the building. I'm assuming he talked to the ownership. Obviously, you probably talked to the head coach. But my thing is why are you waiting till now? If you were going to fire Nico, I'm with Acho. As an ownership, number one, you don't let him make the decision to trade Luka. Number two, what did you think the Mavericks was going to be? No Kyrie Irving.
Yep.
No Anthony Davis.
Yep.
A young Cooper Flag coming into the league. How many games did we really think they was going to do? So this is a move that you did. Now you look stupid because you like, man, why did we let this man trade Luka? And then we're firing him this early in the season because he's not winning without two of his best players on the basketball court. So I blame this on the ownership too as well. I blame this on Jason Kidd as well too, because you could have came in there and told them people no, and I don't know if you did or not, but I wouldn't have let this dude make this decision. And ownership, there's no way you came into this season thinking it was going to be different, especially to start this season off without two of your best players.
I hear where both of you guys are coming from. Acho, I do agree with you to a certain extent. I believe when Mark Cuban made the decision to sell his majority stake in his team to ownership that really doesn't know shit about basketball.
Correct.
They don't know anything about basketball.
Correct.
Patrick Lamont being a decision maker for my team doesn't make me sleep well at night. It keeps me up at night. I also think I agree with that. I also think on the other side, that's why this trade was so bad whenever we talk about the injuries. Kyrie Irving, for as good as Kyrie Irving has been since being a Dallas Maverick, he has not played in more than 60 basketball games in an NBA season since 2018-2019. As a matter of fact, you decided to make him your lead guy, the primary ball handler and lead scorer for your team, your number one offensive option. What happened last time he was the number one option for a contender? We saw it didn't work out in Boston.
Yeah, it didn't.
Right now, you're trying to make him do that later on in his career. He's older. Now, obviously, having that injury sucks. You can't control the fact that he had his first torn ACL of his entire career. But also, he had more usage than any other player in the NBA because you traded away the best player on the team. He had to be used that much to be able to fight for a playoff spot. And guess what? You get injuries out of that. Anthony Day-to-Day Davis. We called him that for years and years and years. You trade for a 30-year-old, and you have another 35-year-old on your team, and you're asking them to go win now. Yeah. Sorry, it was a bad strategy in the first place. The West is extremely deep. You know how you win NBA championships? By having superstars and building around them. The same way that you did in 2024 when you first got here, Nico Harrison.
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense.
But here's my thing is, you have to allow Nico Harrison to at least see this trade through healthy.
That is where I'm at.
You feel me, Jay?
That's where I'm at.
Least, you can't fire him this soon. We need to see a Cooper Flag, plus an Anthony Davis, plus a Kyrie Irving, plus a Klay Thompson. You have to allow him to see this trade through healthy. To fire him right now is absolutely idiotic. Realistically speaking, you're making Nico Harrison the scapegoat for a decision that you okayed, Dumont. Mavericks ownership, y'all are making Nico Harrison the scapegoat. Why ain't nobody looking at y'all? You have to at least allow Anthony Davis to see the whole thing through. You have to allow him to see the whole thing through. Furthermore, is the trade completely idiotic on a business level? Absolutely, beyond the shadow of a doubt. On a basketball level, not enough people have given credence to the thought behind the trade. On a basketball level, Luka Doncic's lack of defense is what kept the Dallas Mavericks from winning a championship. Luka Doncic's incredible offense is what got the Dallas Mavericks to a championship. Luka Doncic's lack of defense is in part what inhibits the Lakers from going far in the playoffs last year. Because Luka plus LeBron plus Austin Reeves all on the court at the same time, can't nobody play defense in the backcourt. So at the end of the day, Luka is the greatest of blessings, but there is a small curse there too. And I think Nico Harrison's realizing defense wins championships. The Thunder know that. Defense wins championships. The Celtics learned that. Defense wins championships. So as Nico Harrison was assessing the NBA and saying, wait a second, the Celtics have defense. We need defense. Anthony Davis was one of the best two-way players of the last 10 years when he's healthy. The trade got way too much backlash, but I understand the backlash because of Luka. From a sales perspective, you can't make the decision.
Yeah, to me, though, this is one of the biggest throw me under the buses we've seen in the movie.
Yeah. Wow.
Break that down.
Strictly because of what you're just saying. You had to walk up to the ownership and say, this is my plan.
Yeah.
And they had to say, you know what? That's not a bad plan. And then we're 12 games into this season and you're saying you're fired?
Yeah, that don't make sense.
It don't make
It don't make
sense.
sense.
I didn't come up here and say, hey, I just dealt Luka, y'all. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just coming up here letting y'all know. You know what I'm saying? Like, you guys knew his vision and his plan, and you knew this was part of his plan. So now it's like, okay, the season didn't start the way we thought it was going to start. Listen, we throwing him under the bus because you know what? We got to take some of this attention off our basketball team being so bad and put it on somebody else. And I think that's what they are doing right now, because there's no way you do not let him at least finish this season. Who knows what may happen this season, but there's no way you let him deal Luka and have a plan, get this draft pick in Cooper Flag, and not let him finish the season to see what his real plan was. And y'all agreed to his plan.
Yeah, I agree. I also got to say, I agree with everything that y'all two are saying. Kieran and I have gone back and forth all day. The only thing I want to say is that this is not the worst trade, not even in the NBA of all time. There's a man by the name of Shai Gilgeous-Alexander that the Clippers traded for Paul George, Gallinari, and 7 picks over like the next 8 years after he was traded.
Oh, my goodness.
That man is now a league MVP,
Would
the favorite to win it again,
Yeah.
an NBA champion,
Yikes.
and also the favorite to win that again. So this is in no shape, form, or fashion the worst trade in sports history, let alone NBA.
At the time, nobody would have. You wouldn't even. I could walk down the street with a legion full of basketball fans, and they would not have been able to tell you who Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is. Obviously, he turned into a crazy good player. We're talking about trading a dude who's averaging right now 37, 9, and 9.
Jesus.
That's tough.
37, 9. And we can talk all you want about defense. Who's going to score the basketball in the most offensively efficient league that we've ever had? Luka Doncic does that.
Yeah.
Luka Doncic beat Shai Gilgeous-Alexander.
Did he win
in
an
a playoff
MVP?
Series.
Has he won an MVP?
He should have won MVP. He was 34, 9, and 9.
Has he won an NBA title?
No.
It's not the worst trade in history.
I'm sorry. Nah, let's look
can't
at
give you
teams.
that.
What's his playoff record against Shai Gilgeous-Alexander?
Okay.
Undefeated.
that's
I'm
fair.
sorry. He was the best player on the floor in that series. Well, I'll say this, though, too. I brought up this tweet, and this adds more to my point about Nico Harrison. Yes, it is early in the season. We have completely lost a fan base. And as ownership, you cannot allow for this type of distraction.
Yeah.
Cooper Flag's mom retweeted this tweet earlier from Mavs Stan 41. Shout out Dirk Nowitzki. He said, Cooper Flag should not have to listen to fire Nico chants when a teammate of his is at the free throw line with the game on the line. Nico Harrison will be a huge distraction and to stand on this franchise until he is fired. Get rid of him as soon as possible so we can all move forward. His mom had to come out and clarify, hey, this wasn't about Nico getting fired, but we should not have to listen to fire Nico chants while we're at the free throw line. Now, you can say that's Dallas being a bad fan base. Guys, let's not keep that to the opposing team's free throws. But my thing is, you completely lost the fan base. The Mavericks had a 24-year streak of home sellouts. Now, are they sellouts done through back channels and all sorts of other weird stuff? Sure.
Yeah.
You lost that streak. No matter how it was, you lost that streak because this team is borderline unwatchable at the moment.
Correct. And that's really more so the reason why Nico Harrison got fired. If we're going to be honest, it's a bottom line issue. He's affecting revenue. People were burning their Luka jerseys. They weren't wearing them to the stadium. The franchise was hemorrhaging funds. And so they said, you know what? We got to do something to appease this fan base and do it right now. And if that's firing Nico Harrison, then let's do it.
Hey, speaking of funds, what's up with the super chats, G?
We do have a super chat. We got a super chat from our boy Josiah. He said, the fact the boy had to talk to ownership about Nico and their decision to trade Luka just tells you how out of touch they were with basketball. Good luck, Mavs, and the fan base. So,
do you guys think that Mark Cuban would have ever greenlit a trade?
No.
Come on, man. Y'all stop.
Hell.
Was Dirk Nowitzki a dominant defensive force?
Y'all stop.
No.
Absolutely not.
Built around
Do you think he would have greenlit a trade for him?
Never. No. But Mark Cuban's a
your
businessman.
mind.
Yeah. He's a businessman first.
Yeah.
To my knowledge, the ownership group of the Mavericks, this is just a small chess piece. The Mavericks are a pawn in what the ownership group of the Dallas Mavericks are trying to do. I think they're trying to get casinos greenlit in Texas and casinos greenlit in Dallas, so they're not worried about these Mavericks. If you're a Mavericks fan, I pity you. I pity myself. I pity Care Bear because it don't seem like we
And
win.
not only that, with Mark, it was a different relationship with the players.
Correct.
You know what I'm saying? When you have a legit relationship with the players, you're not just going to deal him because, he a little overweight, ain't playing no defense.
Yeah.
You're not going to do that. This ownership right now now with what they got, they not even in tune with what's
I mean, I think it was a dangerous move altogether. And Jenny, I tweeted this out a couple of days ago. I think Mark Cuban leaving was the catalyst for this happening.
Of course.
It's rare that you find an owner, and this is the reason why, like, even though I hate Jerry Jones as the decision maker on my team, I respect the fact that he, as an owner, loves the team. That it's not a business just to him. It's really like a, hey, like, this is my priority. This is my priority. This is the whole thing. It was like that with Mark Cuban, and now I think you look at the guys there. Look at Mavericks history before Mark Cuban got there. A complete joke. A complete joke. Then you have Mark Cuban get there. We become a perennial playoff team that was competing for championships and in the Western Conference. He leaves, and now we're a joke again.
Yeah.
It's tough.